know what? Right now, at this very moment, you're about to discover something that will completely transform the way you learn English. And I'm not just saying that to sound exciting. I genuinely mean it. Think about this for a second. How long have you been studying English? 1 year? 2 years? Maybe even 5 years or more? And yet, here you are, still searching for that breakthrough moment when everything finally clicks into place. I get it. I really do. You've probably spent countless hours memorizing grammar rules, creating vocabulary lists, and reading textbook after textbook. You might even understand English movies, read English articles, or follow English social media accounts. But when someone asks you a simple question in English, what happens? Your mind goes completely blank. The words just disappear. You know them, they're somewhere in your head, but they won't come out of your mouth. Sound familiar? Well, my friend, today is the day that changes everything, because I'm about to share with you the one secret that language schools don't want you to know, that expensive courses won't tell you, and that most English teachers have never figured out themselves. Are you ready for this? Here it is. You don't need to study more English. You need to speak more English. I know. It sounds almost too simple, right? But here's the thing. The most powerful truths in life are often the simplest ones. And this truth is going to revolutionize your entire approach to learning English. Today, we're going to break free from the endless cycle of studying without speaking. We're going to shatter the myth that you need perfect grammar before you can open your mouth. We're going to destroy the fear that's been holding you back from real conversations. Because here's what I believe about you. You're not a bad English learner. You're not lacking talent. You're not too old, too slow, or too shy. You're simply using the wrong approach. And once you understand the right approach, the approach that actually works, your English speaking will improve faster than you ever thought possible. Get comfortable, grab a notebook if you want, and prepare to transform your English learning journey forever. Because by the end of this session, you won't just understand why speaking is the key. You'll have a complete action plan to start speaking English every single day. Welcome to English Flow. Let's make you a confident English speaker, starting right now. Part 1. The Traditional Studying Trap. Let's talk about something really important. How most people learn English and why it often doesn't work as well as they hope. When people start learning English, they usually follow what I call the traditional path. Maybe you've done this too, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just incomplete. Here's how it typically goes. First, you buy a grammar book. You start learning tenses, present simple, past perfect, future continuous. You try to memorize all the rules and use them correctly. Then, you create long vocabulary lists. You write down 20 or 30 new words every day, hoping they'll stick in your memory. Next, you might read English books, watch movies with subtitles, or listen to English songs. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these activities are helpful. But there's a huge problem that most learners don't realize. Most students spend all their time studying English, but they don't use English. They don't speak. They don't try to have conversations. They keep waiting until they feel ready. But guess what? That feeling of I am ready may never come. You might be thinking, but I study so much. I know many words. Why can't I speak? This is an incredibly common problem. I hear this from learners all around the world. They say things like, I understand English, but I can't speak it. And it's absolutely true. Maybe you understand movies. Maybe you understand your English teacher. Maybe you can read English articles without problems. But when you need to say something, your mind goes blank. You forget words. You feel shy. You're afraid of making mistakes. You don't know how to express what you're thinking. And here's the thing. This is not your fault. This happens because traditional studying is only half the journey. Let me explain this with a simple comparison. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. So you watch YouTube videos about swimming. You read books about how to move your arms and legs. You even learn the names of all the swimming styles: freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. But you never get into the water. Do you think you'll become a good swimmer? Of course not, right? The exact same thing happens with English. You can study grammar rules for hours. You can memorize thousands of vocabulary words. But if you never actually used the language, you won't become a confident speaker. English is not just something you study, like math or history. English is a living language. It's something you use to connect with people, to express yourself, to share your ideas and feelings. And the best way to learn a language? By using it, especially by speaking it. Many students believe they need to be perfect before they speak. They think, first, I need to study more. I need to know all the tenses. I need to learn 1,000 more words. Then I'll start speaking. But this idea is not helpful. In fact, it actually stops you from improving. The truth is, you become better at speaking by speaking, not by waiting until you're perfect. Part 2. Why speaking is the real key. Now let's talk about the most important part of learning any language: speaking itself. Speaking is not just another skill. It's the heart of language learning. If your goal is to speak English well, then speaking must become your main activity. But why is speaking so important? Let me explain. First, we need to remember something very simple. Language is for communication. The main purpose of any language, not just English, is to connect with other people. We use language to say what we think, how we feel, and what we want. We use it to ask questions, tell stories, give opinions, and understand others. And how do we do all of that? We do it by speaking. So if language is for communication, then speaking is the most natural and useful way to practice. Think about how you use your first language. Do you spend most of your time reading grammar books in your native language? Of course not. You talk to people. You listen, you speak, you answer, and you react. That's real communication. Now, think about how children learn their first language. This is a really powerful example that will change how you think about learning. Children don't start by learning grammar rules or memorizing vocabulary lists. They listen to the people around them. They hear their parents, family members, and friends speaking every single day. They hear the same words again and again and again. Then they start repeating those words. At first, they speak very slowly and only use a few words. But over time, they get better and better and better. Here's the important part. They don't worry about grammar. They don't care about making mistakes. They just keep speaking. And that's how they learn, by using the language, not by studying it. This is something crucial for you to understand. You learn to speak by speaking, not by studying. Let me say that again. You learn to speak by speaking. Studying helps you understand rules. Reading gives you more vocabulary. Listening helps you hear how words are used. But only speaking helps you build confidence, fluency, and the ability to respond in real time. Think about other skills in life. Can you learn to play guitar just by reading about it? No way. You must pick up the guitar and practice. Or imagine trying to drive a car. You can't learn only by watching YouTube videos. You must sit in the driver's seat, hold the wheel, and actually drive. Speaking English works the exact same way. The only way to improve is to practice with your mouth and your voice, not just your eyes and your brain. When you speak, your brain works in a very special way. It starts to connect words, phrases, and grammar naturally. You stop thinking too much, and you start using the language. The more you speak, the faster your brain finds the right words. Over time, speaking becomes easier and more natural. Also, speaking helps you remember words much better. When you use a new word in a sentence out loud, you're much more likely to remember it. It becomes part of your active vocabulary. But if you only read or write the word, it might stay in your passive memory. You know it when you see it, but you can't use it when you speak. Part 3. Embracing mistakes as your teacher. Let's talk about something that stops many people from speaking English: the fear of making mistakes. This is a huge problem. Many English learners don't speak because they're afraid of saying something wrong. They're afraid someone will laugh, correct them, or not understand them. Maybe this has happened to you too. You want to say something, but then you stop. You think, what if I say it wrong? What if I use the wrong word? What if I make a grammar mistake? So you stay silent. But here's the truth that will change everything. Making mistakes is not bad. In fact, making mistakes is good. Let me say that again. Mistakes are good. They help you learn. They help you grow. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. You understand what works and what doesn't. You remember better next time. A mistake is not the end. It's a step forward. Think about how children learn their first language. They make mistakes all the time. They say funny things, wrong words, and incorrect sentences. But do they stop speaking? Absolutely not. They keep talking. They keep trying. And that's how they improve, by making lots of mistakes. It's the same for you. You're learning a language. You're not supposed to be perfect. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal. Your job is to speak, try, and express yourself, even if you make mistakes. When you speak and make a mistake, something powerful happens in your brain. Your brain says, "That didn't sound right. Let's fix it." And then it remembers the correct way much better. This is how real learning happens. Not from memorizing, but from doing and correcting. Let me give you an example. Imagine you say, "He go to school every day," and someone tells you, "Small mistake. It should be, he goes to school every day." Now, because you spoke and got feedback, you'll probably remember this rule better than if you just read it in a book. Why? Because it came from experience, not just from study. Also, when you make mistakes and keep going, you build something very important: confidence. You learn that mistakes are not dangerous. They're normal. They're part of the process. The more you speak and make small mistakes, the less afraid you become. And that's how confidence grows. You might think, but people will laugh at me. The truth is, most people will not laugh. In fact, many people will respect you for trying to speak a second language. They know it's not easy. And if they do laugh or correct you, don't worry. It's okay. Use it to learn. Smile and keep going. Remember this: the only people who never make mistakes are the ones who never try. If you're making mistakes, it means you're trying, you're learning, and you're moving forward. That's something to be proud of. You don't need perfect English to speak. You need brave English. The kind of English that's not afraid to be wrong. The kind of English that's honest, natural, and used every day. So next time you feel nervous about speaking, say to yourself, "It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency. If I don't speak, I don't improve. So I will speak." Part 4. Practical ways to start speaking today. Now that you understand why speaking is so important and why mistakes are actually good for your learning, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I start speaking today? I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't have anyone to practice with. What can I do? Great question. And here's the good news. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect partner. You can start speaking English today, right now, by yourself. There are many ways to practice speaking, even if you're alone. Let's talk about some simple and powerful methods you can use. Method 1. Talk to yourself. One of the easiest ways to start speaking is to talk to yourself in English. Yes? Really? You can speak English to yourself at home, in your room, or while walking. You can describe what you're doing, what you see, what you feel. For example, if you're cooking, say things like, "Now I'm cutting vegetables," or "I need to boil the water." If you're walking, say, "The sun is bright today," or "I see a dog running." This might feel strange at first, but it really works. When you talk to yourself, you practice vocabulary, grammar, and fluency all at the same time. You also become more confident with forming sentences quickly. Method 2. Find a speaking partner. Another great way is to find a speaking partner. You don't need someone who speaks perfect English. You just need someone who wants to practice. Just like you. There are many apps and websites for language exchange. You can also find language learning groups on social media platforms. You can use video calling apps to set up weekly speaking sessions. When you talk to someone regularly, your speaking improves fast. It's also fun to share your learning journey with someone else. Method 3. Voice messages. If you're not ready for live conversations, try using voice messages. This is a great step between talking to yourself and speaking live with someone. You can send voice messages in English through messaging apps. Find a friend or a language group and start sharing small messages. Say, "Good morning." Talk about your day, or share your thoughts about a topic. This gives you time to think before speaking, and it helps you practice pronunciation and sentence structure. It also gives the other person a chance to reply in their own time. It's low pressure but very effective. Method 4. Shadowing technique. Another excellent technique is called shadowing. This means you listen to someone speaking English from a video, podcast, or audio clip and repeat what they say right after or at the same time. You copy their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. It's like becoming their shadow. This helps you train your mouth and ears to sound more natural and fluent. Start with short sentences. Pause and repeat. If it's too fast, slow down the audio. With time, your pronunciation and fluency will get much better. You can do this with your favorite YouTube channels, audiobooks, or even podcasts like this one. Method 5. Record yourself. Here's another powerful tip. Record your voice and listen to it. Many learners avoid this because they don't like how they sound, but this is one of the best ways to improve your speaking. When you record yourself, you become more aware of how you speak. You notice your pronunciation, speed, and grammar. You can compare your speaking with native speakers and work on the parts you want to improve. Don't be afraid to hear your own voice. It's your learning tool. You can record a short story, your opinion about something, or even a diary entry in English. Try it once a day, and you'll see big progress. All of these methods help you practice actively, not just passively. You're not only listening or reading, you are using the language. You are speaking. And that's how fluency is built, by using English regularly in real life, not just studying rules. Part 5. Simple daily practice ideas. Many learners ask me, how can I practice speaking English every day? They know speaking is important. They want to improve, but they don't always know what to say, how to start, or how to keep going. If that sounds like you, don't worry, I've got you covered. In this part, I'll share some easy and simple daily speaking ideas that you can start using today, even if you're alone. Daily practice 1. Speak about your day. Let's start with one of the most powerful and simple things you can do. Speak about your day for just 5 minutes every day. This means you choose a time, maybe in the morning or before bed, and you talk out loud about your day. You can say what you did, how you felt, what you liked, or what was difficult. You don't need to be perfect. Just speak. For example, today I woke up at 7 a.m. I made coffee. Then I went to work. My boss gave me a new task. I felt a little nervous, but I tried my best. This is real-life speaking. It helps you remember useful words and phrases. It also helps you connect your English with your real world, which is a great way to grow your fluency. Daily practice 2. Describe your environment. Next, you can describe things around you in English. Look around your room. What do you see? Try to describe everything. For example, I see a white chair. It looks comfortable. There is a desk next to the window. On the desk, there is a laptop and a notebook. When you practice like this, you learn vocabulary naturally. You use words like on, under, next to, between, which are important for describing. You can do this while walking too. If you go outside, talk about what you see. The sky is blue. There are 2 birds flying. A man is riding a bike. This is easy, fun, and a great way to practice thinking in English. Daily practice 3. Self-conversation. Another powerful practice idea is to ask and answer your own questions. This may sound funny at first, but it's a great way to prepare for conversations. You can pretend you're talking to someone. For example, ask yourself, "What's your favorite food?" And answer, "My favorite food is pizza. I love the cheese and the crispy crust." Then ask, "Why do you like it?" And answer again. You can practice common topics like your hobbies, your job, your family, or your favorite movie. The more you practice asking and answering, the easier real conversations will become. This is how you train your brain to think quickly in English. Daily practice 4. Conversation starters. You can also use easy conversation starters to help you begin. Sometimes we feel stuck because we don't know how to start. So try using simple phrases like, "Today I want to talk about," "Let me tell you about my weekend," "Here's what happened today," "I have a funny story to share," "I'm feeling happy today because." These starters help you begin your speaking practice without overthinking. Once you start, words will begin to flow. Even if you make mistakes, that's okay. The goal is to speak and build confidence, not to be perfect. Time and consistency. Here's something important to remember. You don't need a long time. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough to make real progress. The key is to be consistent. That means doing it every day. Speaking English daily, even a little, will help you feel more comfortable, natural, and ready to speak with others. Using technology. You can also use your phone to support this habit. Set a timer for 5 minutes and start speaking. Use a voice recorder to track your practice. Some learners even create an English diary where they speak instead of writing. For example, each day they say, "Hello, this is my English speaking practice. Today and continue from there. This is your private space. No one is watching. No one is judging. It's your time to grow." If you keep doing these simple things every day, speaking about your day, describing your environment, asking yourself questions, and using easy conversation starters, your speaking skills will improve. You'll notice that words come faster. You'll feel more confident. And one day, when someone speaks to you in English, you'll reply with a smile, not with fear. Remember, daily practice builds strong habits, and habits lead to real change. So don't wait for a perfect moment. Start today. Speak a little, speak every day, and enjoy the process. Final motivation and conclusion. Now that you've learned practical tips to start speaking English every day, let's talk about motivation and how to stay consistent on this journey. Learning a language can sometimes feel like a long journey, but I want to remind you that small steps done every day will lead to big progress. And that's why daily speaking practice is so powerful. Key principle 1. Speak every day, first of all. Speak every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You don't need to spend hours speaking every day. A few minutes of speaking daily can have a huge impact over time. When you practice daily, you build a habit, and habits are what make you successful. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or feel like you have to do it for hours. Just speak for 5 minutes. If you do this every day, you'll be amazed at how much your speaking improves. Remember, the goal is consistency, not perfection. Key principle 2. You don't need perfection. Another important thing to keep in mind: you don't need to be perfect to speak. Many learners think they need to speak perfectly, but this thinking can stop you from speaking at all. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning, and they're a sign that you are trying and improving. So don't wait until you feel perfect or until you know every word or rule. Start speaking now. Even if you make mistakes, that's okay. Speaking is about communication, and if people understand you, you're doing great. Mistakes help you learn and grow, so embrace them and keep going. Key principle 3. Speaking builds confidence. Speaking also builds your confidence. At first, you might feel nervous or shy. That's completely normal. But the more you speak, the more comfortable you will become. Every time you speak in English, you take a step forward. You're building confidence in yourself and your ability to communicate. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you create through practice. Every time you speak, you're training your brain to feel more confident in your skills. Personal belief in you. Remember, you can do it. I believe in you. I know it's not always easy, but if you speak every day, even for just a few minutes, you will improve. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't worry about being perfect. The most important thing is to speak. Don't wait for the right time or the perfect conditions. Start today. Speak today and take pride in every step forward. Your daily challenge. So I encourage you to make speaking a part of your daily routine. Whether you're talking to yourself, recording your voice, finding a speaking partner, or using any of the other methods we discussed, just do it every day. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress. Final words of encouragement. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you feel inspired and motivated to start speaking every day. You have everything you need to improve, and I'm here cheering you on. Keep going, keep practicing, and soon you'll look back and see how much you've achieved. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every step counts. You're doing great, and I believe you can reach your goals. Your action challenge now. I have a challenge for you. Pick one speaking tip from today's session and try it right now. Whether it's talking about your day, describing something around you, or asking and answering your own questions, just start speaking. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just speak. If you found this helpful, I'd love for you to share it with friends who are also learning English. The more people we can help, the better. You can share this with someone who might enjoy it, or discuss these ideas with fellow English learners. And of course, if you want to hear more helpful tips and practice ideas like this, make sure to follow English Flow for more content that will help you on your speaking journey. By staying connected, you'll never miss new ways to improve your English skills. Thanks again for being here today. Keep practicing. Stay motivated. Your English speaking journey starts now. Make it amazing. Until next time, keep speaking, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. You've got this. Remember, you don't need perfect English. You need brave English. Start speaking today.